So yesterday I wrote a post that really seemed to strike a nerve with a lot of people, and I think for a good reason. I think it's so easy to look at where we are today and say, oh, I thought I would have been so much further along. I thought I would have accomplished so much more than what I have already. And you feel like you have so much potential, but for some reason, you're just not there yet. And you can't figure out what's going on. And let me be the first to tell you, I'm right there with you. I struggle with this feeling all the time. So I'm right there with you. I get it. But I want to encourage you with something that's really been a big encouragement for me. And I think it'll be a big encouragement for you as well. I was really encouraged when I read a story about David from the Bible. Now, this is going to apply to you whether you're a Christian or not, so don't worry. But some of you may know the story. He was the runt of his family. He was the youngest child. He was the scorn of his family, right? His family just did not like him at all. And yet Samuel, this prophet, anoints him as king when he's only a teenager. And can you imagine the emotions that are going through that teenager's mind? Like, I'm about to be king. This is crazy. Like, my life's about to change. This is awesome. I'm about to buy a couple camels. It's going to be great. But here's the part that we forget, is that David didn't become king right away. He was anointed, yes, but he had to wait nearly 15 years later before he would actually be crowned king. And there was so much more that God wanted to do through him. Can you imagine him becoming a king at 15 versus becoming a king at 30? There was so much more that God had to do through his life. There was so much more training and persistence that had to happen. Now let's bring it to somebody more relevant. Gary Vaynerchuk, a very popular entrepreneur, is someone who often says that, he's an overnight success that took 20 years to develop. He worked his butt off for 20 years before he reached the levels of success that you and I both know today. And so I want to encourage you, if you feel like you have so much potential, but you're just not there yet, or you just haven't accomplished what you want to, and you feel like there's so much more you could have done, or you feel like you're wasting your time, remember that great leaders spend years being groomed and prepared to step in at the right time. I want you to imagine this. Imagine you take this high school athlete. They're a phenomenal high school athlete. They're destined to be in the major leagues. But imagine taking them out of high school and putting them into the major leagues as a high schooler. It could be disastrous, right? Because they may be destined for greatness, but it's not quite their time. There's still work to be done. Now, I know this isn't exactly what you want to hear, but I think it's the truth. This time is preparing you, it's preparing me, it's preparing us, so that when the time is right, you and I will both be ready. Your greatness is coming. Stay the course, stay focused, stay prepared.